Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to some more StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today I'm playing a Terran versus Protoss for you and I'm giving commentary to the game at the exact same time as I'm also playing it. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. I've done this a couple times before with Terran so far. Obviously I've done it hundreds of times I think with Zerg. But there's definitely still a lot of things that I need to learn as far as Terran goes, but also as far as like commentating Terran and playing at the same time goes. Now, one thing I did want to mention right off the bat is that a couple days ago I did manage to get promoted up to Master League, and after a couple of wins with the random account, so this is a dedicated account that I only play random on, we managed to reach rank 1 Masters. So pretty happy with that, pretty damn happy with the results so far. It was a relatively new division and I haven't played on it in a couple of days until yesterday. We still have some bonus pool left over as well, which basically means that we did drop down a bunch, but even though I have limited knowledge of all of the matchups, I feel like we're doing relatively well and there's still, you know, a lot of work to be done. So I'm excited here, we're making progress and we are, you know, playing high level people right now, which is pretty exciting on its own as well. But anyways, let's just get started with what I think is currently normal build and what I think is gonna be relatively okay. Gotta keep in mind that on this particular map, the mothership core can literally just fly from his base to my base in just a matter of seconds and, you know, get a lot of damage done that way. So I'm just gonna start being annoying here. Do want to go for a relatively quick expansion. We'll go ahead here and make a Reaper 2 and then like make the Expo, you know, up next. So I'll make that right about right there. I've started being a little bit better, I think, at like the base management and whatnot, and like macroing in general without queuing up too many units. But I still feel that is one of my weakest points when playing Terran. I mean, honestly, there's still so many things that I need to learn when playing this race that it feels like, you know, rank 1 master shouldn't be here yet. But at the very least, we're doing something right, I guess. Because, hey, you know, they don't just promote you for nothing. Gotta go ahead and get my Reaper moving across the map. And we'll also go ahead and make a factory next. So I'm thinking about going Marine Marauder Medevac. Seems to be the most standard of standard builds. Do need to make sure I get at least a bunch of Marines going early on, just to start stopping any, you know, just to stop any kind of incoming early game aggression. I think early on we'll also go ahead. Oh my god. That Protoss player does not like his Reaper. The nice thing about the Reaper early on is that we can use it to basically, you know, keep his stuff at home, which should help us out quite a little bit. Keep on producing more Marines. And as soon as that command center finish up, I'll morph that into an orbital as well. Do need at least 8 Marines early on just to deal with like any kind of early game aggression from the Terran player. And most importantly, is going to be the fact that we need to deal... Oh my god. Oh man, I helped him. Most importantly, we need to make sure that we don't lose anything to like the early game, you know, oracles or, you know, those kind of units. Go ahead and start up another depot as well. And I do want to go for another barracks soon too. Oh wow, he's actually chased me down all the way to gold. Interesting. Okay, let's keep on making more things here. Gonna land the mule in the main and then fly it to the low ground. Okay. Did get a Widow Mine here too, just in case of my opponent being aggressive. And I think very shortly we want to go ahead and also start adding on the engineering bay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead here and add on a tech lab, start my medevac production up, and well, I guess I can use my Marines right now just fine to try to, you know, do a little bit of damage. So early game starts to get better. It's starting to get better. It's not quite where we want it to be at yet, but it's not as bad as it used to be, okay? It's not as bad as it used to be. Let me double check if I have all the gases saturated. Yes, we do. Gotta go ahead and get a missile turret right there in the main base. And indeed, we do end up killing that Oracle that flew in. I didn't even see it, but the Widow Mine did, so I'm pretty happy about that one. Gotta go ahead and actually do a little bit of dropping now, because we may as well. Gonna start getting the medevac right here, and just keep on producing more units. Keep on producing more units. Actually, we'll get a reactor on that one. And start hotkeying all of these things together. Now, I don't actually want another Widow Mine after this. So, I'll just go ahead here and make a bunker instead. Start up another barracks as well. And just keep on producing units and keep on producing more stuff. Alright. So far, so good. So far, so good. Want to start building the Great Wall that will prevent the Protoss player from immediately jumping into my natural here. And we'll start flying in the medevac. A little bit slow, as you can see. Oh god, no, no, definitely not. Definitely not gonna be there anymore. And I guess I may as well just get a missile turret here at the front as well, just in case my opponent decides to be annoying. I do want to move out in a little bit, just when the what's it called? The +1 upgrade finishes up. We'll start moving across the map with that. And I think I do also want to add on a relatively quick third command center here, just to ensure that we don't start losing out on random things. So far so good. Almost fully saturated here, and I think it's time to start moving for us. I'll leave those two widow mines at home, just because we don't need to have, you know, non-stop of those. I'll go ahead and queue up that upgrade. And, well, he's definitely not gonna try and do that. Okay. So we'll move out here. Let's get going. Let's get going, boys. Oh god, no, we don't move out here at all. Okay. So we just need to hold on here. Just need to make sure we hold on. He's got a lot of things right now. I think we will be able to hold at least for the moment. Let's keep on producing more stuff. Bring these guys to the low ground as well. We did just finish up Stimpack. So that's pretty nice. Very good. Okay, gotta keep in mind here, this is a pretty big commitment by him. He's not gonna like do this randomly. I'm actually just gonna hide another base here. That's because we have the minerals for it, and I think it's a correct option to go for that. Okay. There we go. And my opponent decides to leave the game. Alright, so all of the things I'm currently doing with Terran are basically aimed towards one thing. And I tried portraying that while commentating and playing at the same time, but it's a little difficult to do that. The basic understanding that I got right now will allow me to not lose to anything early game. That's my basic goal. I know that in most occasions, and I don't say that to, like, you know, be cocky or to sound like a dick, but I basically just knowing that in most scenarios I'm gonna be able to out macro my opponents later on into the game. Just getting to that later part in the game is just, you know, the tricky part. So what I've been focusing on here pretty much exclusively is just to be 100% safe against all early game aggression. Now, the most notable early game aggression from the Protoss, well, this particular map comes from the Mothership Core, which I did with the early game Marines, but then also the Oracle. So Oracles tend to fly in roughly 4 minutes into the game, maybe slightly later than that. And you need to have at least 8 Marines out at that point to deal with it, or like a Widow Mine. The Widow Mine did deal with it in one shot, which helped out a ton. Now, the Protoss build that he went for right here got nerfed quite aggressively in the last patch. As you can see, like, he decided to add on one proxy pylon here to warp that one in as well, and, you know, speed up the warping process with a bunch of added void rays here too. Now, the void rays do bonus damage to buildings, so the idea here is that he nukes down the bunker and therefore, you know, manages to squeeze out the victory. Now, the build that he's doing here got nerfed a little. The Adept right now actually take an additional shot to kill a Marine. So whereas in the past, I believe it took like 3 shots to kill a Marine, right now it takes an additional 1, so it's 4. I don't exactly know if that is 4 or 3, whatever. It basically just takes a little bit longer for an Adept now to kill a Marine. Which basically all of a sudden makes the Marine opener a heck of a lot better. So the basic idea is, look at my panic, by the way, look at my panic. This is bad. Like, you don't want to queue up that many buildings. You just simply, or that many units, you just simply start, you know, building extra unit producing structures instead and start up the medevac production and the Widow Mine production. But the basic understanding here is that I add on the bunker right about, I think I added in right 4 minutes or so into the game as well. Basically right when I have the resources and the minerals to go ahead and get the natural started. And right at the point where I'm finishing up the upgrades. Now at this point, I wanted to move across the map. Now the +1 attack is done, which I'm now getting right about the time that the command center finishes up. I wanted to move out right across the map, right as the Stimpak finishes up, which will line up quite okay with the +1 attack. Now, since I was just making up for a timing push myself, my opponent pushing in at that point is basically the ideal timing for me, right? If I get to fight with my SCVs, use the repair and whatnot, there's a much bigger chance that I'm going to be able to win that fight, as long as I am actually, you know, microing reasonably well. So combat shield is not done yet. Stimpak is just about to finish up, and right as that finishes up, you will notice like this fight is going to go heavily into my favor. So he doesn't have any upgrades. He's 100% all in just to try and hold on here, and I'm just simply, you know, making more and more stuff. Now, the one important thing to note here is that I may very well not be able to play this perfectly yet, okay? There may very well be a build from the Protoss player that is able to just beat this easily, and that is going to be able to nuke through this. The thing is, I've been learning to play Terran and Protoss by just simply losing a lot of games, looking at the replay, and then going ahead and be like, okay, what could I do to try and change this up, right? What could I try and do to prevent this loss from happening again? And exactly at that point, I just adjust my build order. So, you know, that's why I mentioned the early game Adept timings, the early game Oracle timings, the early game Mothership Core timings that I had into your main base and whatnot. And I've basically just been trying to prevent those kind of builds. Now, maybe one of the Protoss players will show me something that is absolutely going to demolish this. What if he goes for like an Oracle into 2 Immortal into like, I don't know, 6 Gate or something like that, right? And he pushes with that. It may very well be able to just simply power through that building, and I'm going to have to adjust something in order to deal with it. But so far, things have been working out quite well. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If there's any suggestions of something that you would like me to do in StarCraft 2, let me know right below the like button in the comment section of this video, because I'm always open for more suggestions for StarCraft videos, because this game is awesome. I love playing this. But anyways, I want to thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one.